doesn't happen anymore. So the liberal media said, well, we don't drink no blood no more. I'm like, well, I just did that 3 days ago.
You drink your wife's blood?
Keeps me young.
Wow. Now, I've heard of weird things in the South, like, okay, I don't know, some of our squeamish listeners may not have heard this, but in the South, and I heard particularly Winona Judd did this, when after she gave birth, you have the placenta, you bury it under a tree.
Does a baby grow? I'm not sure what happens at that point.
Some people actually, it's a baby tree? It's a tree that produces babies. I guess that's what happens. I don't know. I miss sex education. So now the elections are going to be happening next week, Clem. What are your predictions?
Well, I've been lobbying hard you remember our last conversation. I was pushing the Palin Christie card pretty hard there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's getting a little, not as much traction as I would like, you see. But for these midterm elections, I predict one of two things will happen.
Okay.
Either we'll finally figure out that Barack Obama really is an Ethiopian, which I maintain is still the case.
Okay.
Or the South will secede from the North, which I'm in favor of as well. Okay. So either way, it's really a victory for me. It's a win-win.
Do you know that we have Ethiopia? You have Ethiopia to thank, because I know one of your favorite songs of all time is USA for Africa, and actually that song was written to help the starving Ethiopians back in the 80s. Want to sing a little bit of that song with me right now? We are the world.
We are the children.
We are the ones to make a brighter day. So let's start giving. Now I'm going to do the Steve Perry part, because Steve Perry was all over the World Series, which you hated. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives.
That's the last part of the song that I know.
Okay. Clem, what I wanted to ask you about now was the movies. I don't know any of them. I see the movies now, and it's a Keanu Reeves movie. It's a Brad Pitt movie. It's what's her name? Jennifer Lawrence. That was all naked and nude on the internet. What movies should I go see, and what do you think about movies today?
Anything with Channing Tatum, I say just go blindly see it. I prescribe to that. And, 22 Jump Street with him and a skinny Jonah Hill, who's not as funny as Fat Jonah Hill, by the way. You lose some of your funny when you get thin. Everyone knows that. That's why fat people are always, everyone knows the cliche, fat people are always funny because they look like
But I think don't you think, Clem, it's more that the excess weight makes them more jovial and jolly, kind of like a Santa Claus effect, wouldn't you say?
Women don't fat guys, Mike.
Don't I know? Hey, speaking of which, I'm single right now. What are your suggestions? I see you're very happening with the ladies. What is your tip for me, single Mike, you, Mr. Casanova Clem?
I think it's a good balance between hickory soap, hickory toothpaste, and hickory deodorant. You can't overdo the hickory, Mike.
Oh.
Doesn't matter what you say to them, as long as you smell predominantly like hickory.
Okay.
That's real talk.
I don't have any hickory on right now. Maybe that's why I'm completely single right now.
It's a damn good start, isn't it?
So you're saying I shouldn't worry about all these internet websites like OkCupid and Tinder? They're just useless?
Until they incorporate smell-o-vision into these things, and you could, again, use the hickory. I would say not going to help your chances.
Oh, I had one last question, if I may. May I give you one last question, Clem?
Please do.
And I want to thank you, Clem, because I wasn't going to do a podcast today, and because I had you on, I said, what the f***, I'm going to do a podcast. Oops, I've just bleeped myself. Must be all the hickory whiskey I'm drinking. It's so good. But Clem, what I wanted to ask you about was Taylor Swift came out with a new album this week called 1989, which is, by the way, the year that I was first legal to drink. Did you know that? That's how old I am. Anyway, your thoughts on Taylor Swift?
Taylor Swift's a woman? I thought it was a prepubescent man. I'm sorry. This is kind of blowing my mind right now.
Taylor Hicks was an American Idol winner. He was like an older guy that had kind of a soulful sound. He sounded like he should have been with the Doobie Brothers. But Taylor Swift is a young, very skinny adolescent woman. No, wait, she's in her 20s. And she dates like celebrities like Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, you see, that's where I've been going wrong. I thought Taylor Swift was a prepubescent transvestite. So
easily confused. Okay. Well, any last thoughts you'd like to give the Mike's Daily Podcast listeners, who are the strongest willed people that are on the planet, that they can listen to our wonderful interview? What would you like to tell them? Hickory. Hickory dickory dock. We are the world.
I suppose I'll just reiterate what I left you with last time and say Christy Palin 2016 and Republicans retaking the Senate.
They're probably going to take the Senate. Do you think, Clem, do you really think they're going to take the Senate?
Yeah, I mean, my dream of the entire government doing nothing is about to come true. With the Republicans controlling both Congress and the Senate, they will literally do absolutely nothing. And I'm in favor of that. And
why is that? Why do you like it? Do you just not like change? You don't like things being done? You like it mellow?
I'm a white, middle-aged man. What the do I care about gays or minorities or women?
So, and what about immigration policy that needs to be passed? You don't care about that either?
They can burn in hell.
Oh, my. Wow, there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, the most controversial thing on podcasts today. It just said now by Clem. Oh, the disgruntled fiddle player just came in. He didn't say anything that could be misconstrued as controversial, did he? No, not a single thing, disgruntled fiddle player. You're fine. Okay, last time we had to get lawyers involved. It was pretty scary. I hate lawyers. Okay, Hickory. All right, thank you, Clem, for being on the show.
Was my pleasure.
That was the 4th visit from Clem on the show. Do you want to make it a 5 sometime? 5th visit?
Yes.
Yahoo! All right, that's Mike's Daily Podcast and Mike on Mobile from Clem's house. Back to you, Mike. I hope you're a little bit more sober than I am right now.
Oh, I'm sober, Mike. As we go outside of the last place on earth where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley, California. That hickory whiskey, though, did leave quite a hangover that took most of the day to get over. Thanks a lot, Mike and Clem.
And here's today's podcast picture.
The picture is of Basil the Boxer. Yeah, it's a special Halloween picture. Basil and I were walking. This was actually a couple of Halloweens ago. And we stopped to look at these people's front yard here in Podcastro Valley, California. And there was a coffin in the front yard. And inside the coffin was a little kitty. And Basil didn't even see the cat. The cat was just hiding there in the coffin. Anyway, it's a cute picture. Look at it now. Mike'sDailyPodcast.com.
Mike, that is a lame picture day. Why do I want to look at a dog looking at a cat day?
Yeah, Mike. Come up with something more creative next time. Do you know that? What are you guys going to go as for Halloween tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm going to go as a very jaded and cynical East Coaster guy day.
I'm going to go as a guy who can't quite say his words right. And he's got like a Tourette's syndrome type thing by going, do you know that? All the time. Ah. Madame Rootabega? Michael Matthew, I'm going to go as the lovely and beautiful Condoleezza Rice. Oh. But you're white. That might not... I'm just going to walk away slowly. and hope they don't follow me. Because I am outside. I can walk. I can run, actually, which I probably should do. And tomorrow on Halloween... I'm so sorry. Yes, that's a microphone squeaking. I'll try and get that fixed by next time. Tomorrow I'll have the return of the much-loved feature Matthew's News with some interesting recent stories. Plus, we'll hear from Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, John Deere the Engineer. Oh, and it'll be the Halloween show.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST-772-Comedy. Email Mike now at MIKES-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!
Madame Rootabega, when I was looking at a bunch of videos trying to figure out what was wrong with my car, I watched this one video of this auto mechanic, and he's just filming as he's fixing a car. He's got the camera in one hand, he's fixing it with his other hand. And at one point, he's like talking you through it, right? He's like, and you fix this valve. Oh, I think I just burped. And he kept on. It was great. Great television, Madame Rootabega. I hate you.